preseason action for the Titans and the Vikings. One rookie we know is going to start right away this season, Cam Ward, and another essentially a rookie, J.J. McCarthy, as Lindsay Theory joins us now with more on the Titans. So how much should we expect Ward to play tonight?
Hannah, Cam Ward definitely will be out there tonight, Coach Brian Callahan saying, but it's still to be determined exactly how long he will remain on the field, and it's proven to be a fluid situation. Just last week, it was expected Cam Ward would play about 2 series. He actually went out there for a 3rd series just so he could get a few more plays off. Callahan says, though, at this point, he is encouraged by where his rookie quarterback is at. He says he's really doing well from an operation standpoint. As for how the rookie himself is feeling, Cam Ward says he feels really close to fully understanding this Titans offense and this playbook. He says the key right now is just to get some few more reps in there so we can really nail down and dial in on the scheme, the protections, and some route adjustments that may need to be made. Going into tonight, his main focus will be playing fast and getting in and out of the huddle. Hannah, our main focus is this band warming up right now.
Exactly. I was going to say, Lindsay, you are in mid-season form there, talking over the music. We appreciate you, as always. That's Lindsay Theory. Thank you. Meanwhile, we had a fun article from Bill Barnwell this week, taking a deep dive on some teams he thinks can improve on their win totals from last season. And one team he sees taking a big step forward is Jacksonville. Here's what Bill wrote. It was a 2024 season of losing coin flips for the Jags, who had 13 of their 17 games decided by 7 or fewer points. They went 1-3 and were outscored by a combined 86 points in the 4 games that weren't one-score contests, which doesn't exactly speak highly of what former coach Doug Peterson cooked up. But they were unlucky to finish with just 4 wins. So, gentlemen, Liam Cohen comes to town, hopefully to revitalize Trevor Lawrence's career as he did with Baker Mayfield. But, Bill, you point to something on the defensive side of the ball that you think could be a difference maker. What is it?
It's turnovers, something they forgot to have last year. It really was missing from them throughout the entire year. They had just 1 multi-takeaway game all of last season. That's tied for the fewest of any team in NFL history. And they noticed because they went out this offseason and they spent a lot of money and a lot of stuff on the secondary. They signed Eric Murray to play safety. They signed Jordan Lewis to a big deal to play at slot corner. And then the big move, of course, Travis Hunter, who comes in not only as an incredible coverage cornerback, but also, we know, special ball skills because, hey, he happens to play wide receiver when he's not playing cornerback. This team intercepted just 6 passes all of last year. Not only are they going to intercept more passes and help out the defense, that's going to help the offense, which inherited the worst average starting field position of any offense in football a year ago because they weren't getting short fields from those turnovers. So more takeaways, more interceptions, better defense, better offense, hopefully a better football team.
And the best thing to help a struggling offense is an offensive playmaker, a guy like Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is listed as a starter on the offensive side of the ball. He's listed as a backup on defense. Travis Hunter, you add him as one of the best wide receivers coming out of college. Add him to Brian Thomas, and all of a sudden you get Liam Cohen, an offensive mind. You don't have to rely on your defense to score points. You can add playmakers. De'Ami Brown's been added as well. And oh, by the way, there's conversation of Jacksonville being in the wide receiver market. Sean Payton just revealed it when they just traded Vele just not too long ago. So the best way for this offense to get better and to be less sporadic is to get more playmakers, which they have in Travis Hunter, and also what they're looking for when it comes to a few trades that may happen in the next few weeks.
They need Hunter on offense, they need him on defense, and they need him to stay healthy. It's as simple as that. All right, coming up with less than 2 weeks until kickoff, still no deal for Micah Parsons, and Jerry Jones' latest comments suggest things.
Yeah. Oh, let's go! All hands are very much on deck this morning. As you can see, it is just lunacy. By the way, Joe Fortenbaugh and I are wearing the same jacket. You can tell us apart. I'm the one without the mustache.
That is very clearly a Merlot. This is a Burgundy. I would expect more from you, Greenberg.
Fair enough. Well, you're the sommelier. I'm merely the fashionista. Let's go. No more wasting time. Let's go to Dallas because this is insane. The standoff between Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons went insane last night. Talking to Michael Irvin on his YouTube channel, Jerry Jones said the agreement he believed he made with Parsons would have made him the highest paid guaranteed player other than a quarterback in the NFL. He then unloaded on Parsons' agent, David Mulligetta. You have to hear this to believe it.
When we wanted to send the details to the agents told us to stick it up our ass.
Wait, now, see, I was
Just so you're clear.
Wait. What do you mean? So wait.
No,
What do you mean? Because people
Mike
going to ask.
Mike and I talked. Mike and I talked, and then we were going to send it over to the agent. And we had our agreements on term, amount, guarantees, everything. We were going to send it over to the agent. And the agent said, don't bother because we've got all that to negotiate. Well, I'd already negotiated. I'd already moved off my mark on several areas. And so the issue, very frankly, is we've had the negotiation in my mind. And the agent's trying to get his nose in it right now and try to come in there and improve off the mark that we'd already said. It's the mama-daddy deal. You go into mama and she won't do it. And she's the boss, so much. She won't do it. So you run into daddy, daddy says do it. And then you go back in and say, mama, daddy said it was all right.
Oh, my God. So that happened, and there's much, much more that we will get to. Bartholomew, I was watching your facial expressions. What?
That's not his line. What does he mean? The agent wants to get involved. That's his job. That's literally what his job is supposed to do.
No, to be clear, the agent wants to stick his nose in it.
Right.
Like he's getting nosy about doing his job. It's absurd.
I don't understand it. That's just like Michael Parsons going to negotiate with Schottenheimer. like you wouldn't accept it. Like that's the protocol. Like I don't understand why he would think he can circumvent and go around the actual agent and talk to the player. And he thinks, I'm going to send you, like I'm going to inform you what me and the player talked about. That's not how things work.
There is a history of this, though, in Dallas, right, Dan? You and I have talked about it. To be very clear, Dan and all of our reporters have been telling us for weeks, Jerry believes that he and Micah Parsons made a deal. You just heard it directly from him. And it sounds like it was a negotiation. It wasn't just, how about this? Okay, I'll take it. It sounds like they went back and forth. Jerry's saying he moved off his mark. So by excluding the agent from it, which he essentially has done here, is that violating anything? Like, is there a rule against that?
There's not. It's obviously bad form. But it's the Cowboys, and this is how they operate. When you talk to people around this situation, agents and people who've negotiated deals with the Cowboys, they'll say this is part of their process. You know, Dak Prescott had to have dinner with Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones in training camp and talk contract. You know, Tony Romo, Jason Witten, all these guys. The difference is they didn't go in there and talk numbers, right? And so Dak Prescott had his dinners with these guys, and oh yeah, we want to be. Anytime the conversations turn to numbers, it's you got to call my agent. I'm not going to do the numbers with you. My agent is. Apparently, what happened in this case is Micah didn't say that. He said some numbers, and they felt like they went back and forth. Jerry said, I already moved off my mark. So he felt like they were in a negotiation.
Right.
Now, that's either naive or it's, revisionist history, but this is the point he's decided to stand on here, and he believes he made a strong offer and that Micah should either take it or play out his current contract and get franchised next year. And that's where it stands. It's not like the Dak situation where this time last year they were still negotiating and Dak was practicing. It's a very, very different situation.
I mean, it feels like Jerry Jones is Rumpelstiltskin here, and he's trying to do a deal. And, like, the reality is the agent should be the one dealing between the mother and Rumpelstiltskin and giving away her firstborn, because that's what happens when you don't have an agent. You end up accidentally doing something that you shouldn't do because there are professionals for a reason. Agents are agents for a reason.
Yeah.
And I understand that there's not anything in the CBA that says that this can't happen, but it's common sense for everyone else in the league except Jerry Jones. So maybe this is the thing that gets something formally put down in the next CBA negotiation. Maybe that is a perfect world. I'm oversimplifying it, but it just seems like until you put down specific guardrails to keep Jerry from doing it.
You can't make a rule against everything. There are some things that are just understood to be common practice, and that, like you cannot make a rule to prohibit every action. I think that I understand where Jerry's coming from, but to your point, they hadn't talked about numbers. In this situation, if the deal is not signed and someone says, I hired a professional to do this for me, it seems absurd to then say, oh no, I refuse to speak to the professional that you hired, that to me seems like unfair and selfish.
Okay, so let me make sure there's two things that we should clarify. One of them is you heard what Jerry said, the agent said. Ryan Clark, who is also represented by David Mulligetta, reached out to him, and the agent, David Mulligetta, says he never used that language. I don't think Jerry was trying to be quoting him specifically. It was sort of a generally told us to stick.
Yeah, the money quote, obviously, earlier, you know, but then he also says later, he told us don't bother. So like, it's two different ways of saying the same thing. So what he's saying is, we had a deal. I sent it over to the agent, say, look this over, make sure everything's cool, because Micah and I negotiated this. And the agent said, Micah doesn't negotiate his deals. I do. Right? So let's actually have a conversation about this.
To be clear, he didn't use the word stick it up your whatever.
He may have, but who knows?
Well, we don't think he did. David Mulligetta told RC he said that.
Yes, exactly.
And that it isn't really the most important part of this, but it's the most entertaining.
Most fun, yes.
Then there is the response from Micah Parsons. Micah has responded to this in the way people respond in this day and age. First, he cited a passage from the Bible in the book of Micah.